Come away with the ball. Oh, given away awfully. And Diogo Jota for Liverpool. It's absolutely brilliant. Could have been. That's back towards Diogo Jota, who's inside the penalty area and scores. Absolutely. It's brilliant from Diogo Jota. Yeah.
Welcome to We Chat Football, the channel where we chat football. And today we'll be looking at a few topics that I see going around the internet today. One, it's the overreaction of preseasons games. Like I see a lot of overreaction happening across the social media sphere this week. Let me just adjust my camera a bit. Yeah, yeah, I saw a lot of overreacting happening for the past couple of weeks about preseason games. Yeah, I don't know why, because they're just friendlies. They also the Isak drama. Will Isak leave Newcastle? Will Isak stay? That's something that we want to discuss today as well. Liverpool should sign a centre back. Should they move their focus from Isak at the moment and just maybe focus on a centre back for now? Let's get that centre back in through the door and then turn their lights back to Isak after. Newcastle kind of sort some stuff out. Should Liverpool look to do that? And Spurs looks like they're in the race for Rodrigo. So these are some of the stuff that we'll be talking about. Normally this show is on a Friday night, but because yesterday I had some stuff to do, so therefore wasn't able to get this done on Friday. However, yeah, here we are, Saturday morning early. We should just change this one to Saturday Vibes, but at the moment we're on here early, Saturday morning, doing our thing. So, all right, let's just dive into it right now and just talk about preseason. Yes, so the preseason games that's been happening, I see a lot of overreacting from people on the preseason games, like a lot. I see a meltdown in the Arsenal fan base for losing to Spurs on a preseason game. I remember losing to Manchester United on a preseason game, and that didn't change anything for us per se. It it just allowed us to see what the season is going to be, and that's what preseason is going to be. It's just managers try things in preseason that they can't try throughout the season. Try different formation, try different build up style of play, just try different stuff, try different lineups that would never actually go together during the season. This is what preseason is about. Um, you try stuff. You don't sit and do the same thing that you do throughout the season or put the same starting 11 together. I mean, a new manager that's coming to a club will try to implement his style, so you'd see more of what's going to be coming up in the season when a new manager joins. But when there's a manager there that's been there for a while, you're not going to see any similarities with his build up play. What you'll see is a lot of new things that he's going to be trying. And trying to bed people in, trying to get new signings coming in, trying to get them up to speed, trying to get them all that kind of stuff. So I just think like there's like a bunch of overreaction that's happening with preseason games right now, where too many people are analyzing it, too many people are looking for too many different things about it. Everybody now it's becoming a scout, everybody's becoming a coach, trying to overanalyze the whole preseason. And I'm just thinking like preseason is preseason. It's a tour. Like people are going to, for example, Asia, people are coming to the US just so fans can actually get to see that team and they can generate more revenue. For example, like Liverpool, like in Asia tour and dropping their new jersey while they're in Asia is like one of the biggest marketing move right now. Because then most of the jerseys are sold out. Um, and I guess a lot of people are just excited about the new kit. But again, it's I just can't get my head around why everybody's losing their shit about preseason. That's a part I can't get my head around. It's like a lot of people are just losing their shit about preseason, and it's just some friendly games. It's just some friendly games, and managers trying to see where their team is at, where the fitness of the players are at, and trying to get the players um, fit enough for for the season to go ahead. So yeah, that's just my views on the whole preseason thing. I just think everybody just needs to calm down. I think everybody is just a bit antsy about maybe not winning stuff. I know, like for example, a preseason friendly between Premier League rivals is never really a friendly, but at the same time, what is there to lose? If you lose a game in preseason, there's not much there to lose. It's just preseason, right? It's the most part of preseason and the most part of the stuff that I look for, like when I'm watching preseason, is the fringe players. What fringe players is putting their all in preseason to try to get into the first team. Those are the things that I look for in preseasons is what fringe players doing that. And if the manager's trying out a new formation, those are the things that I look forward to, and that can tell like where your season is going to be progressing from there. Because if managers play their best lineup in preseason and they're all their formation and tactics in the preseason, then that's an easy for another manager just look at that and be like, okay, that's what you're gonna play. Yeah, easy. We just find a way to counter that. So yeah, I think a lot of people are just losing their shit in preseason for no reason, absolutely no reason. Um, for me personally, just give me a second here, people. Yeah, and that's just it. I just believe that there's just too much people losing their shit, and we should just get over it and just understand that these are just some friendlies. This is a money making scheme for the club. It is. We are. They're traveling all in these countries, and these people wouldn't get to see the team play on a day to day basis. So, therefore, when you get out there, make some money, sign some jerseys, get the players up to par for the season to start. And yeah, that's just my view on the whole preseason thing. I just think that it's blown out of proportion. Now, the other thing that I want to look at today, while we are just here talking, it's the Isak saga. The Isak with Newcastle saga. That's the other thing that I really need to look at. The fact that Isak is heading back to Newcastle. That's what rumors came out this morning, that he's heading back to Newcastle. I think he's gonna maybe heading back to have a sit down, to have a conversation with the people at Newcastle to figure out what's happening with that and what's happening with his future there. To be fair, rumors are in Newcastle are about to sign Benjamin Sheshko, so that could either be a Isak replacement or that could be something different. But rumors have it that Seska is coming in. Does that mean Isak will move to Liverpool, or does that mean that they're going to try to convince Isak to stay at Newcastle? Now, for me, this has been one of the most round out transfer saga so far this transfer window, which I didn't expect it to be. I just expect it to be one of those where, Liverpool already talked to the player. The player said he will join. I know there is a lot of Newcastle is trying to get their target in before the player leaves. If Newcastle is willing to sell the player, I know this has been going on since Newcastle was trying to get Ekitike, and Liverpool went in and signed Ekitike because for some reason I don't know why Liverpool thought that would be the best thing to do, but they went out and they do it anyways. So we have a striker. I think the thing was that Liverpool didn't want to wait until the back end of the transfer window where we don't have a striker and everything is going up and all the good targets on the market is being moved on. And here we are waiting for Isak and then we don't have a striker. However, Newcastle went in, ready up their bid for Isak 110. I think they bid cash up front, which is 105 plus five add-ons just to test the waters for Isak. Went in, bid got rejected instantly. I think that kind of drive Isak over the edge. To be fair, I think that's what kind of pushed him over the edge um, with the whole transfer thing, and he went AWOL. Now, my thing is this: I've seen it happen before. Well, I've seen it happen with us. I've seen it happen with pretty much most clubs that a player goes AWOL like that. Now, my thing is this is how much Newcastle are really looking for Isak. How much will Liverpool willing to pay for Isak? And Liverpool came out and said that they won't bid again until things change. For me, that's saying that they won't bid again until Newcastle is ready to discuss the transfer with Isak. Is ready to discuss whether they're willing to let him go and how much are they willing to take for him when they decide to move him on. Now it's about I think Benjamin Sheshko is going to move to Newcastle for 80 million. So I think that's going to be the price for Benjamin Sheshko. Moving to Newcastle is 80 million going there. So he could be the Isak replacement, and as well he's going to be on I think 200 um, 200 between 200 250 a week. That's his wages reported. That's the wages he's gonna be on. It's about 2 to 250 a week, and with wages like that is gonna be more than what Isak is on. Now, will Isak stay to play with Seska for another year, or will he continuously force a move to Liverpool? I know that at some point they said that he put in a transfer request. I don't see where that was the case. I can't see any concrete report on that he actually put a transfer request in. But I know for a fact that Liverpool is not going back in until Newcastle decides that they're going to sell Isak, meaning that if he puts a transfer request in, that there's going to be like, okay, now we can talk on how much is it that you actually want for the player per se, that they just continuously bidding, getting rejected. It's let's see how much you want and let's see how much like where we can meet in the middle for your evaluation of the player. So yeah, I think that's where it's at with the whole Isak saga, which for me I would love to have Isak at the team. I do think with the squad that we have right now, we can challenge in our four competition and should be able to come out winning at least two of them with the squad we have right now. With further addition to the squad, then I should be looking to coming home with anywhere between 3 to 4 trophies this season. That's kind of my expectation so far for the season for Liverpool with the signings that we have made in the transfer window. Because I think you don't bring in the likes of Verts, Frimpong, Kirkech, um, Mabadashvili, Ekitike, and then looking to bring in Isak, and rumor have it that you're looking at Rodrigo plus Mark Guay from Crystal Palace, and then you show up in the season and expected not to do like a full cleanup of every trophy that you're in. That would just be ridiculous. That if the expectations would be lower than a full cleanup of the season. So yeah, so that's where I am at with this whole transfer saga with Isak, with everybody that's involved. It's kind of like a bit drawn out. I know for the Newcastle side, there's a lot of incompetence that's happening on their side. Not meaning to call it a club, but there's a lot of incompetence happening. The fact that they don't have a sporting director, this seems like the window, the last couple of windows with Liverpool before last season, and before Edwards came back and brought Richard Hughes with him. Before that, it was Liverpool was running off like no directions, and that's why you see so many players is going went into the last year of their contracts without anything being renewed or anything like that. It's for similar reasons. We can't have what do you call it now? We can't have massive clubs like these that are looking to break into Europe, that are looking to break the top four or stuff like that, just not being run properly. And I think that's where Newcastle kind of fell down. It's the fact that they did not employ a sporting director to make sure that coming into such an important window, because this is a very important window for Newcastle that's happening right now. Because the window going this bad, if Isak leaves, that could be a domino effect on all their better players leaving, including the likes of Tonali, including the likes of um, Bruno Guimaraes, and it like all those players would be looking around now and thinking that okay, then the project that you sold me that's going to be here, it's falling apart because the main focal point of that project opt and leave. So yeah, that's the other that's the other thing that's happening at Newcastle right now. But if they're able to convince Isak to stay, I don't think Isak will down tools or say he won't play. I don't know if he'll do a Van Dijk when Van Dijk was at Southampton, which is deciding that after they force him to stay, is that he just won't play. He is okay to go chill in the reserves. He's okay to pay the fines, but he just won't play. And then that forced them to sell in January. I don't know if that's the case. But again, it's a World Cup year. Will Isak take the chance of not playing to force a move to Liverpool if they decide not to play him for a whole season, losing his spot to in a World Cup to Gyökeres? That's something else that we have to take into consideration as well going into this season, and that could determine whether Isak move, yes or no. And if he doesn't move, he might just be a professional and play. Now, you can't blame Isak for wanting to move either. You can blame the way he's going about it, but again, what was promised to Isak? What was um, told to him going into the back end of the season? Because I know Liverpool wanted to sign him last season, but opted to go for Anthony Gordon instead. Because he was offered to Liverpool last season, but opted to go for Anthony Gordon instead. Did they came back and say that okay, if Liverpool came in for you again, then we'll allow you to move? Was that the conversation that they were having? Because if that's a conversation that they were having, and now Liverpool came in back for him and they denied the transfer, then that's something on Newcastle. However, this is where agents of football players need to do better. If you know that you want your client to move out of a club, get a release clause in when you sign that contract. You can't get a release clause in and the player doesn't move. And that's the thing, is that a lot of players, agents, don't insert these release clauses in if you want your players to leave. So now if there was a release clause in, it would be a lot more easier that Liverpool know exactly what they need to meet to get Isak out of Newcastle, rather than Isak throwing a fit trying to get out of Newcastle at the moment. So yeah, that's kind of where it's at with the whole Isak saga. I just believe that it's just messy all around. To be fair, do I support a player throwing a tantrum to get out of a club? No, I don't. Because if it was at my club and one of my players is doing that to get out, it would not be pretty. We see what happened with Trent last season, and he's just running down his contract. I know people look at it and say, okay, the difference is Liverpool is putting their money in for Alexander Isak, but is it much of a difference that the player is actually forcing his way out of the club completely? For me, no, it's not much of a difference that what Isaac is doing compared to what maybe Trent did. It's not much of a difference. So my thing is, it's not a good look. I don't know if there's a way back for Isak at Newcastle right now. I know Newcastle want Isak to come back. They know they want him to be a part of the squad, but does he want to be a part of the squad? Does what impact does this have on the dressing room? Does it have a positive impact if he gets back in with the squad, or does it have a negative impact? Does the players, for example, at Newcastle look at this and said, okay, so if a bigger club comes in for me, I mean the top players, is it going to be the same where we can't leave and we're kind of held hostage like the whole Isaac thing? If that's how they're looking at it, I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying if that's the way that they're looking at the whole Isaac scenario. But you know what? Let me know what you guys think in the comment. If you believe that Isak is held against his will, if you believe that he should stay at Newcastle or Newcastle should allow him to leave. Um, the other thing that I'm going to be talking about is leading off the whole Isak thing as well. Is that should Liverpool change the focus right now from maybe waiting on Isak to signing a defender? I know we need a centre back. Liverpool definitely need a centre back. And while we are waiting to see what Newcastle might be doing with the whole Isak thing, while we're waiting on that to unfold, while we're waiting that to build up, should Liverpool change their focus and head to maybe strengthening the centre back? We saw Joe Gomez leave pre-season with another injury again. So, in all fairness, with the likes of Kwanzaa being sold, Joe Gomez again getting injured, are we now looking at the point where we should be looking to bring a centre back in, even more important than getting an Isak in? Okay, the club is sold on Isak. Yes, the club wants Isak. But I think that right now, with everything stalled on the Isak front, we should move in to sign Mark Gray. The price for Mark Gray has gone down, and we could get it for 40 bill. I know we just moved on one of the fringe players from the squad to Leon right now. He's out. They signed him for like 10 million plus five add-on. Tyler Martin, that's his name, Tyler Martin. So I know we just sold Tyler Martin for 15, which is 10 million upfront, 5 million add-on, and another 20% of his sell-on. That's the move for Tyler Martin to Leon, which we're generating more money. And the likes of Darwin Nunes is about to get a bid in from Al Hilal, where he could be going for about anywhere between 60 to 70 million as well. Now, that's money generated in. I do believe that it is extremely important that Liverpool focus on getting not one, but two centre backs in. If we can get one in by before the season starts, and then maybe looking to bring another one closer to deadline day or in January, that would be good enough. But as I said, the money is there for Isak. The money is also there to get a centre back. And I'm just thinking, just go out, get Mark Gray before the season start. Kanate had one good season with no injuries, or minor injuries, I should say, because he was injured, but just minor injuries. That's just his first season with minor injuries. I do not trust Kanate body enough to say that next season he's going to be good, like no injuries, nothing, and he can go through a full season again without his body breaking. I do not trust Kanate that much. I don't trust his body that much to go through a whole season without injuries. And I believe that if that's the case, then Liverpool should go out and get a centre back as soon as possible, especially right now with the Isak deal getting stalled. I know they're looking at it and be like, okay, we want to make sure that we're going to offer 100 up front, but at the same time, we can negotiate with Palace and see if we can drop maybe the 40 mil that they're asking for Gray, maybe drop it over a 3 to 4 year period, maybe drop 10 on the first year. And we know that we're signing him 10 million up front on the first year. and then make the installments for the 40 or maybe a 30 throughout the other 2 to 3 years, plus whatever add-ons there is, and make sure that it's like achievable add-ons. So, you can pay out the rest of it throughout the course of his time at Liverpool. So I do believe that we should actually just next week as a start, if Newcastle hasn't changed anything and you're not going back in for Isak right away, is just go in and get a centre back over the line. The season's about to start. We're playing Crystal Palace in the curtain raiser, which is the Community Shield. That's coming up. So I'm just thinking, get a centre back in, because again, Joe Gomez is injured. No surprise there. The guy body has been broken down over the past couple of years. So it's whether it's mental, he just felt something, or it's actually an impact injury. It's yes to see, but however, he's injured right now. We need to look to replace his position in the team, and I think we need a third choice centre back and a fourth choice centre back. And if Joe Gomez is fit, then he can battle out anywhere between those players that we brought in for that backup spot. But at the moment, we can't count on Joe Gomez to go through a whole season without getting injured, and we can't count on Kanate to go through a whole season without getting injured. And again, injuries are part of football. We see what happened with Pickford when he went in on Van Dijk. Shit like that could happen again. And if stuff like that happens again, we need to make sure that we have cover. Makes no sense we're spending so much money on attack and our defense is extremely, extremely fragile. So I think we need two more centre backs before the window closes. But if we can't get two, I'll accept one, and then we try to strengthen in January as well. If Liverpool wants to go back into the transfer in January, strengthen to get another centre back. But we need at least two centre back, because again, we have three. One is out injured already. The season hasn't started yet, and one is out injured, and one we know can pick up an injury at any time. So therefore, we need to go back in the market. We need to get the centre back, and with the price going down from Gray to 40 mil, I think Liverpool should do that as quickly as possible. Get that over the line, call it a day, easy. And I think that's what we should pivot to right now while we wait for Isak. The money is there. I do believe the money is there for us to do that. Again, we have maybe two transfers going out the window by next week, which could see the likes of Darwin Núñez, and we already see Tyler Morton move. That for me is amazing. That's good business so far. That is good business so far. We need to see that money reinvested quickly in the centre back role, because we do need a centre back coming into this season. And yeah, that's what I feel like we need. So right now, talking about movements, we see reports came in today that Spurs has inquired about Rodrigo from Real Madrid, but it's also reported out of Brazil that Rodrigo would favor a move to Liverpool. However, it's also said that Rodrigo wants Liverpool more than how Liverpool wants Rodrigo, which is understandable. I understand that at this moment in time, due to the fact that what I just said before, we should focus on getting a centre back in rather than another attacker. So I do understand that. However, if we pass up the night to sign Rodrigo this transfer window, if we get the opportunity to, even though he is sitting at, it could cost maybe about 70 to 80 mil. How wages we might be looking at would be about 2 to 300k a week. That's the wages that we might be looking at. I don't believe it's a bad signing, to be fair. The reason why I don't believe it's a bad signing is that even if this season coming up, we're looking at this could be Salah's last season. We do need a replacement. And I'm not saying that Rodrigo is going to be playing right wing. I'm just saying we need someone out wide that can produce, maybe not to the likes of Salah level, but cause the same threat going down the flanks as Salah does. And I think Rodrigo would suit us to a T. His age, at the moment. I mean, he's a really good attacking player. He's a really good wide player. It's just unfortunate that there are just so many players at Real Madrid at the moment that plays in his position, which is left wing, that he can't get ahead of them. Whether that's by manager's choice, whether that's by the players that are actually better than him, there, that's up for debate. We can debate whether it's the managers who doesn't trust him playing in his natural position, or it's the fact that the poster boy for Real Madrid is playing in the same position. Now, a Rodrigo for Liverpool would make a lot of sense. I, and I know a lot of people in the fan base is talking about the young kid that's coming through, and he's like 16. This will not block the pathway for him. I know they're saying Rodrigo coming in. I've seen it in the community. Rodrigo coming in would block his pathway to get to the first team. It won't. Rodrigo coming in could spell the end of Cody Gakpo. That's what it could spell. Not Rio not being able to break through. It could just spell the end of Cody Gakpo. Would I want to see us going next season with a front line of Rodrigo, Isak, then you have Wirtz in the 10, Salah out the other side? Yeah, that would be amazing going forward. And people need to remember this as well. We have Van Dijk for maybe another season at the top level. Maybe he could fall off this season, but we have Van Dijk for another season at the top level. We have Mo Salah for one more season at the top level. He could fall off this season and he could kick on. We also have the likes of Allison at the club for one more season. And we can just put these in there. So that's three players that we have to look to replace. We already look to bring in Mamadashvili in. That's going to be Allison replacement coming up in the future. See how he performs throughout the season. We haven't brought in a defender to be the Van Dijk replacement. That's why previously I said we should just go out, get Mark Guay from Crystal Palace. He will understand that, okay, at the moment he's competing with Kanate, but if Kanate stays, Mark Guay stays, that could be the partnership going forward for Liverpool at centre back. Plus, again, this is why I said we need two centre backs, because we need another one. On the right side, we do need to bring in a player that can play right wing as well. But if the chance presents itself for us to sign the likes of Rodrigo, I think we should do it. Whether it balances the team, yes or no, I do think we should do it, because I do believe that at this moment, the right side of the field, the right wing or right inside forward, whichever way you want to call it, there is not much quality on the market right at this moment. You're gonna get somebody young. You're gonna get, yeah. There's not much right at this moment. Rodrigo, on the other hand, can play both sides. Does he prefer to play left? Yes, he prefers to play left. But can he play right? Yes, he can play right. And he maybe plays better. He plays better on the left than he plays on the right. But if I'm gonna get going out in the future, I might have to pick up a average right winger to replace Mo Salah. I need somebody that's going to be world class on the other side, because we already have a world class on the right. So if we're going to step down from the world class on the right, we need to get somebody world class on the left. And I believe that Rodrigo will become world class if he moves. He's a really good player, and if we can get the someone like the likes of Rodrigo for 80 million in today's market, we should take it. We should jump at the opportunity to take it, and we can spend. Liverpool could spend up to 500 million this season before losing any money, or before any sales. Sorry, we could spend 500 million before any sales come in. Now the sales are coming in. We still have the likes of Harvey Elliott that we're looking to move on. We still have, I think, Bicetic might be moving on or going out on loan. I'm not sure about that. Darwin Nunes, rumors have it that he's about to leave the club. We still have the likes of either Robertson, or we're looking at Simicas, but I think it might be Robertson that might be moving on this season. So there you go. That's also wages that's been freed up. There are still more players in and around Liverpool squad that Liverpool will be looking to move on this summer before the window ends. So we still could generate another, I would say, 100 to 150. We could generate from sales before the window ends. We have lost Luis Diaz, which I don't think the club expected to lose. So there is space for Rodrigo in the squad because he could be the Luis Diaz replacement. And if we lose Luis Diaz for 70 mil, which I completely forgot about, but we lose Luis Diaz for 70 and bring in Rodrigo for 80, come on, that's like a no brainer. That's 100% a no brainer right there to do. And okay, we bring in all these players in this summer, but next summer we don't spend as crazy as what we spend this summer. I'm down for that because the squad that we're building right now is good enough to challenge and win trophies for the next 3 to 4 seasons with minor additions. Because we're just moving out now. All the players that are close to 30 and above is going to be moved out of the squad. And the squad has been refreshed with players in their mid 20s. So all of these players still have um, enough time to gel and to challenge. We've seen it when Richard Hughes and Jurgen Klopp went in and built that team with the likes of Mane, Salah, Firmino, Fabinho. Like how many years Liverpool could challenge with those players and win stuff with them. I mean, they should have won more, but that's beyond. That's not what we're talking about right now. Is that was enough for them to challenge, to go out there and perform. And this has been, they've done it for like about 4 years consistently, where we only added a few backup players to that squad, for example, to come in and challenge them. And I think Liverpool is maybe moving in the same direction right now, where young players can come through and help, where we don't have to go out and spend another big transfer for maybe the next 3 to 4 years. We won't be hitting 100 millions or 50 or 60 millions. It will just be a lot of young prospect that's coming through to see how they fit the system and backup players that will be coming through to maybe help with rotation. And that's not a bad thing for me if we spend all this money right now in the first year, including the Adidas deal, including all the other stuff that's happening, to go out, build the squad out completely, and then push for all the trophies that we can win from here on out. Because again, if the end of next season, we decide that okay, we're gonna move Salah on, and we're gonna move Salah on to Saudi, we're still looking at we could get close to 100 million for Salah. And yes, people might look at his age, people might look at that, but the commercial revenue that Salah will drive to that Saudi Pro League, being a Muslim, being in a Muslim country, being like the face, pretty much I would say, of that area of football, it would drive a lot of revenue in for the Saudi Pro League. And that's why I still believe that we could, at the end of next season, still pick up maybe 100 mil for Mohamed Salah and go out there and get a good replacement for him. So there is still a lot of money that Liverpool could generate coming out of next season, coming out of the season beyond that. So yeah, it's good. It's a good time to be at Liverpool and stuff. Yeah, just go out, spend the money, get Rodrigo, get Mark Guay, and yeah, bring in Isak as the icing on the cake, and then just tell Arnie to cook. See where we are next. See where we are next season. But if we get all these signings and we don't win a minimum treble, questions need to be asked. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, guys, appreciate for the people who stick around, the people who hear me go on for the last 40 minutes. Yeah, like, share, comment on the video. Normally this is dropped on a Friday, but with stuff happening on a Friday, wasn't able to get it done. Anyways, guys, love for everybody who joined, love for who liked the video, and catch you on the other one. Peace.
Oh, his name is the